You broke up the Rob Roy couch.
I
That's
did.
fine.
I did. Well, because he's
Now
kind of
it's
like the guest.
trifecta.
Yeah, right? Rob P. Roy.
Rob P. Roy. But I did get the Rob Roy bit
There you go.
while recording, so
There
that's
you go.
on camera.
Well, awesome. Roy, thank you so much for joining us here at the Art Beyond the Glass, the industry perspective.
13th year, right?
Yeah,
13th
absolutely.
year.
Absolutely. Now, can you just tell us who you are, just right to this camera right here?
Sure. I'm Roy Porter. I'm a resident of Southern California. This time I've been in the hospitality business since about 2008, and specifically in off-premise, catering since that time.
Okay.
And we were talking beforehand that there's, from our perspective of behind the bar as per se, or behind the table or behind the stove, that there's this crossover between catering and restaurants where everything is, like cooking food is cooking food.
Yeah.
But then there's this divergence because how we cook field sometimes in the field on big events like Oscars and Emmys and other big events around Los Angeles and even other parts, we have to build our own kitchens.
Gotcha.
So then there's this divergence. And same thing in bartending, making a drink is making a drink when you're behind the bar. But when you're out on sometimes festivals and events, you don't have all the luxury.
Right.
I always say to people, if you're going to be in that aspect of hospitality, you need to have what we call a SEAL Team 6 mentality.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And that means service anywhere, anytime, and under any conditions.
Okay.
And of course, with a smile. You know?
Exactly. There's a saying that if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's right.
There you go. And so you're ready to serve food at any point in time and place.
And any conditions.
Circumstances. Yeah.
But even more so, something that's been appealing to me, and I heard it best when I got to work with Thomas Keller a couple times from the French Laundry.
Yeah.
And he was saying to one of the younger cooks that was there, when you get to work with somebody like Thomas Keller or Jose Andres, there's this next level up of how they operate and how they think and how they treat people.
It's surgical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The environment is just, it's dialed in. Okay. And, he's talking to this younger guy who is ambitious, but you can tell he's trying, but he doesn't have his act together yet.
Okay.
And Keller says to him, do you know why we do this? And the guy says, well, yeah, so I get paid. He goes, okay, that's a benefit. He goes, but actually it's nurturing. It's because those of us that are in this business that like being in this business of hospitality, it's the giving, it's the love, and we express our love and appreciation for people through food, cocktails, the wine we pour. That's how we outpour our love for other people.
Yeah.
That's how we manifest it. It happens to be through service and through food is the medium. So
right. I mean, the idea is pretty much if we're able to pour that love into like the service that we provide to other people, they can kind of share it forward or pay it forward to other people, which is like the service that we're able to provide them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to ask you, what got you into the industry? I don't know if that kind of answered it for you.
I was in the industry when I was in college.
Okay.
Like I was, serving tables and working banquets, and I was a bar back.
Okay.
They called me the bar bat because I would just fly around. Disco was in. I mean, we'd make drinks to the Bee Gees.
I love that. Okay.
We'd do 1,500 drinks on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
Jesus.
Yeah. And my job as the young bar back, at that time you could be under 21 and be behind the bar. You couldn't serve, but you could be a bar back. And I got that profile. So my first important job was to bring the jetons. We could smoke behind the bar. And so we smoked jetons, is great French cigarettes. Takes the money out of the tip jar, okay? And then we're good to go, So that, and then, I went on to other things. And then there came a time when I was between a rock and a hard spot. And one of my clients, I was in a different business, said, how come you're not ordering any catering? You're not throwing any parties, you know? And I said, well, we're like, it's kind of rough, and he goes, how rough? And I said, I'm trying to keep my house. He said, that's rough. He goes, well, you need a job, then come over because you know how parties are run. Yeah. And I went over and I applied.
Yeah.
And then because of the flexibility, off-premise catering, and it's like work at night, on weekends, I could work to keep my house, my wife and my daughter, and start to rebuild and fix and correct things, okay? And the next thing I know is like, hey, this is a lot of fun, and it's satisfying.
Yeah.
And I found that if you studied it, a lot of people go like, oh, this isn't a rocket scientist. We're just serving food. And I'm like,
Sure.
no,
Yeah.
man, like, let's figure out how to step this up. Like,
Yeah.
and then gamify it. Like, how you pack a truck. It's like Tetris.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's figure out how to be best practice at that. And some people would get into that and make it more fun. And then one company I was working for said, we've given you a couple raises. We want you to become part of the management team. And so I joined the management team. So instead of just, serving the guests, now I had to serve my staff.
Right.
Because you got to take care of the staff. Because how you treat the staff is how they're going to treat the guests.
Yep.
100%.
Okay. Definitely.
Yeah.
So it kind of grew from there. And I love the difference and the challenge of not having to go to the same place all the time.
Right.
That's in catering.
Yeah.
And I was in Bismarck and Minot, North Dakota 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to do an event. And it's different from Los Angeles.
I bet so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm getting ready to go to Salt Lake City, and I've done work in Tampa and Dallas, Houston, and obviously San Francisco.
Okay.
Most of my work is here. So
Nice.
the bulk of the work that I do is on events, and many times I will work as a bartender or a server. I always like to keep my skills sharp,
Mm-hmm.
But then a lot of my work is in a supervision or a management. And I always tell people two things in the beginning, that when I have my pre-shift or my pre-event meeting,
Yeah.
and some people say it's like going to church, because see, I give them some, to call it like a motivational talk, because I want them to feel good.
Right.
Because if they feel good when they interact with the guests are going to feel good, because
Pays it forward.
they forget about the food.
Yeah.
But they remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
People definitely remember
So
how you treat them.
I always tell them a couple things. Like, one of them is that we've prepared and we are destined to do well today.
Yeah.
Second, our goal for the end of the night is that whoever's in charge will give me a handshake, a hug, maybe even a kiss. I get my butt grabbed.
Yeah.
It's happened a few times, right? And say,
So you did a really good job.
Yeah. well done.
Pat on the butt.
Let's do this again.
Yeah.
Because every event's an audition for another event.
There you go.
So I said, if you have that in your mind,
Uh-huh.
then you'll make the right decisions throughout the night. You may not know how to open and pour a bottle of wine according to the master court of sommeliers,
Sure.
but you'll be guided and make the right decisions. And I might come to you and say, next time you do that, let's do this, or let's not do that.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, that's, and the other thing is that to address why we come to work. Now, obviously for financial reasons,
Sure.
okay, but how do we go to the next level? And the next level is that people come to work to improve themselves and the people that they are immediately responsible.
Mhm.
Husbands, wives, children, parents, whoever it is, okay?
Yeah.
And by improving yourself and in your work environment, that makes it interesting, and you want to go there,
Mhm.
and then you can provide better for the people that are associated with you. So I kind of see in the long run that events and catering and hospitality is, a way to fulfill yourself and being selfish. If you do a good job and you're happy and satisfied and push yourself to do better, then those who are close to you will benefit also.
There you go.
Yeah. So that makes it fun and satisfying.
I identify with that too, just because you work in like a small space, like the bar I work in is a very small space, a tight space. So we feel each other's energy constantly, right?
Constantly.
And so it's pretty much like if one of us is in a bad mood, like we can all kind of feel it. However, if like one or two of us is like just in a randomly goofy mood, silly mood, it raises the positivity of like the entire group behind there, because we're all moving around, we're all kind of feeding off each other's energy. Even though we're locked in with like serving the guests and providing a good time for them, it's really like that energy we all kind of have amongst ourselves that lifts the entire team forward so that we can have that good night and continue to pay it forward, that good energy to the rest of the the guests that we're serving.
Yeah.
So I definitely identify with that a lot in terms of like it just really starts within yourself or with your management team, that trickles down to your employees, that trickles down into the guests, and then that experience that the guests kind of receives can pay it forward into the rest of society, in a big way that I think people don't really kind of value or like they overlook in the service industry.
Yeah. A lot of people think that the service that is provided in hospitality is sort of a demeaning job because you don't have to have an MBA, you don't have to have a master's, you don't have to have a bachelor's.
Right.
Okay. And they don't quite understand that some of us refer to it as a service arts. There is an art,
Right. 100%.
Service is pretty straightforward, but when you get into hospitality, that next level, that next, round of it. So going back to what you talked about on the attitude.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, he's in Ireland, his name is Tom Hughes.
Okay.
And he wrote a book, and it says improvement starts with the letter I. So if you think about improvement, okay, so you're in a group dynamic, and maybe the juju's a little bit off,
right.
Then you have to set the standard, like this is going to be good.
What can I bring to this kind of energy, this dynamic to kind of like lift the ship? You know what I mean?
And that's not being selfish.
No,
that's for the good of everybody.
1,000%. 1,000%. Question.
Yeah.
In terms of like you talk about like that positivity that you try to bring to your team, whether you're an employee or a supervisor, what I guess would I ask is like a red flag for you with like your team or like your coworkers, and in terms of like a red flag that you see or a trait that kind of rubs you the wrong way when you're working with someone?
Two things.
Yeah.
First one is respect.
Okay.
Respect for your coworkers.
Yeah.
Respect for your supervisors.
Mm-hmm.
Respect for maybe the people that you may be supervising. It goes up, it goes this way, and it goes down.
Yeah.
That's paramount because, how it's sort of like that golden rule, how you want to be treated is how you should treat others. Okay?
1,000%.
That. And then the second thing is to, if you're not on the bus and want to get on the bus that's going somewhere, okay, is to be as complete in finishing what you're doing. And when I see people do sloppy work, like don't clean their station.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't dump the trash.
Yeah.
Don't, they put the boxes away on the shelf in the dry storage and boxes are upside down. They don't put them in the right place.
Dude.
They're not caring. They're not focused. Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes they brought their baggage to work with them.
Yes.
And by having a conversation with them as like a supervisor or manager, I can listen and I can help them to put that baggage and leave it at the door and use the event or the area as a catharsis to feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't. And if you got a team going and you kind of have to, like, after you've talked to them like maybe 3 times, that may sound like, this isn't the place for you.
I just got to cut you for the night, man. I'm sorry.
You need to go.
Yeah. You got to figure it out for yourself. Yeah. Thank you for showing up, but thank you for also leaving expediently.
Yeah. I don't mind. Lots of times I go into environments in my consulting work and there's we've always done it a different way.
Oh, yeah.
And I get that.
Sure.
And so I have to work hard to win those people over. And I've discovered that those adversaries can become my best advocates.
Okay.
But you got to win them over.
Right. Because once you win them over and they're a true believer
like
you, then they'll speak for you.
Exactly. I've seen them then say to the rest of the crowd, like, hey guys, I'm like you.
Yeah.
And I was opposed to what he was saying or how he was asking us to do something. And I tried it, and you know what? It's working.
Yeah.
So let's give it a try.
1,000%. Yeah. No, I definitely run into that a lot. I do the receiving and a lot of like the stocking at my restaurant bar, and so like I feel like everyone else makes me feel like I'm OCD because like I think things should just be a certain way of first first thing in, first thing out, like all that type of stuff. That's always on my mind. And a lot of other people are just like, as long as it gets done, it gets done. You know what I mean? And like, I was like, I get it, but it's also like, just think about the entire efficiency and effectiveness of like the bar and the restaurant if we do things in a very uniform way. And so sometimes people get it, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But like you said, you just got to work with it and work through it.
When you have those systems, processes, SOPs for sake of a better word, then people don't have to think about, and then they can open up and say, well, how do I make this experience better for the guest?
Yeah.
Because I already know what I got to do here.
Right.
So now, how can I listen to what the guests may need? And it may be something that's not on the menu.
Yeah.
It may be a cocktail that's made differently, with a different element because they don't like gin or, they're allergic to walnuts. Who knows what it is?
For sure. Yeah.
I'm a big advocate of lean. And what I mean by lean is we add value. We eliminate waste.
Okay.
How we accomplish that is by building people. So we build people who can add value and eliminate waste.
And then you don't even think about the rest. Like that's already
and
just
the
like
rest of it starts to fall into place.
Right.
And as much as we like the big improvements, I just focus on the small 1% wins.
Okay.
And if we get those little small wins, like 2 steps of walking or 2 seconds to do something, if we can shave that out, that adds up. That's a huge win.
Yeah.
Like, boss says, like, can we get a 20% increase in sales? I said, well, that's a hefty number. And that would be nice. And we're certainly going to work towards it. Okay?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, let's work for 1% every day.
Right.
Because I know I'm going to get 37% now at the end of the year.
There you go.
And everybody can participate with those small things. And, and if people they start to buy in and they can make contributions, then they're going to make more contributions because we all like to feel good. We all like to have some praise.
Yeah, of course. And that's kind of like what keeps that going forward. You're paying it for it and just chipping away at those team goals as they are. I just wanted to ask you as well, like, is this your first year with Art Beyond the Glass?
Oh,
no. Okay, how many years have you been with it?
It's like over 10, maybe 12.
Okay, because they're on their 13th year, so I mean, you've been there from the beginning.
Yeah, the first time that I went as a guest.
Okay.
And I saw what was going on, and I saw some of my buddies from, working events, and I go like, we need your help. Like, you can get this dialed in, okay? Because that's something that I do.
Right.
And they go, come help us, right?
Okay.
And so since that time, I remember being in Chinatown at General Lee's and all these places, and Los Globos, and here we are. Yeah. And this is a great venue. Claire she's a joy to work with.
Absolutely, it's phenomenal.
We know the venue. For the past few years, I've been checking the brands in, and that's like, there's some people I only see once a year.
Yeah.
And then others like, hey, what's new?
Great.
But we've known each other now for a long time. And they come up and go, hey, I need a favor. I'm like, okay, so what do you need? They go like, can I get some more bar towels?
Right.
Like, sure.
And that rapport is built there. Well, I guess like from your perspective in the years that you've been working, what would you say is the importance of events like Art Beyond the Glass and like this awareness and community that they've been building?
It's nice to give appreciation for the creativity. And if you walk around and you see, and throughout the years, whether it's been music or poetry, I've seen people do ceramics, all this, they need to get this creativity out, and they express it, they manifest it with different mediums. And it's singing, there's bands, and it's nice to see that creativity, because that can be inspiring. Art is such an important element of our society. Oftentimes it doesn't get the recognition and encouragement. But this is a place that focuses around people that are within hospitality in the bar community. Here in Los Angeles. So it's really cool to see this work, because you go like, wow, I I've seen you make old fashions and Cosmos, but I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a whole nother dimension to that.
Right.
Okay? And then some of the cause of the support, whether it's been through COVID. We were talking the other day about some of the people who've been impacted by, they haven't been able to work because of protests and situation going on in some areas of LA, or they've had to close down early.
Right.
So, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give people the platform, give them the space to continue doing what they do best, and maybe open people's eyes to some of the other things they do really well that people haven't had an opportunity to see. And that's what we really appreciate Art Beyond the Glass for.
Yeah, it's nice to see people move up. I was doing an event years ago. I think it was the Golden Globes, and I was a captain.
Yeah.
And I see somebody, and I look at my list, and he's not on the list, so I don't care, because I know people work at multiple agencies, multiple caters, right?
Yeah.
So the staff comes to me and go, "Hey, so and so's out there eating and drinking like a guest." I go, "He's not on my list," so I don't care. That's if he's working for somebody else and he's eating, drinking on their time. That's their problem. Okay? So then there's a delay, and we're getting ready for when the guests are going to come out after the awards.
Right.
So we're all regrouping and grabbing a bite to eat, getting some water. And I go to the other captains, the other agencies, and they're like, "Hey, is this guy working for you?" No. Everybody says no. And I go like, whatever. We walk out the door, and he says, "Hey, boss, how are you?" And I said, "Now I'm confused because you're dressed in black, okay? You said hi, boss, but nobody has your name on the list because we've seen you eating and drinking tonight." And he says, "I'm a guest.
Yeah.
The only plates I'm touching are the ones I'm eating from. The only glasses I'm drinking from are, obviously handling are the ones I'm drinking from." And I said, "And so how is that?" And he said, "Well, I'm an extra, and I got a part on a show, and then it turned into another role." And he said, "And now we're up for 3 Golden Globes."
Wow.
So it's nice to see people move up.
Evolution.
Okay. And I've heard a couple occasions of people that have created different art that have moved up, and their work is now in a gallery or someplace. So it's like I remember when they used to make terrible margaritas.
Right.
But now
look at them go.
Now look at them. The new Salvador Dali was making cosmopolitans.
There you go. There you go. Well, before we get you out of here, Roy, just want to give you opportunity to just shout out Art Beyond the Glass and the work they're doing, and to this camera, just like give them that shout out.
Hey, Art Beyond the Glass is really an outstanding program. Daniel, with what he did in creating it, to give the recognition to people in the work. If you're not here this year, mark it next year, put it on your planner, bring your friends. We have a great time, show some support, and come on down. It's a great afternoon here at Catch One. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roy.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you so much for coming on.
Anytime.
And that was a great conversation. Thank you so much for just sharing everything.
We got to do something again sometime.
Yeah, 1,000%, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Sure.
Thank you so much. That was great.